The Chiefs meet the Bills in the divisional round for the second time in 3 years this Sunday night. Perfect timing to head into this film review from Week 14 with the Bills taking on the Chiefs at Arrowhead. The Chiefs will actually have to head to Buffalo for this divisional round matchup for the first time since 2020 that they have faced the Bills in Buffalo. So we're going to jump straight into this. It's just going to be a quick handoff to Kadarius Toney right out of the backfield as he's in a running back position. Nice run to the right side, and Kadarius Toney really has had his best work, I think, in 2023, where he's been utilized out of the backfield. And he actually gets utilized a lot in the backfield in this game, and we're going to showcase that. But a very good run here for Kadarius Toney, and this is early on that opening drive for the Chiefs. This one, just an interception of Patrick Mahomes late in the drive. They've been driving down the field, and right here just tries to get a quick little check down to Clyde over here to the left side. Just gets tipped up in the air and caught. Picked off. Tough one there. Not too much Mahomes could do. Very nice play by the defensive end right here. You're going to see 57 on the left side. Just tip that ball up in the air and go get it. And Mahomes makes the tackle on the play. Here is the Buffalo Bills now on offense, and we'll get to kind of the same kind of play later. There was the first play of the second half that we'll look at. I really liked kind of using this orbit motion right here, having a 41 go out to the left side, and then James Cook trailing him. And they're just going to kind of get confusion over the middle of the field with Willie Gay right here starting to move to the right side, looking at some type of possibly like a swing screen over here or something like that. And Allen's just going to go right over the middle of the field to the tight end. And a great play. Justin Reed with a good tackle, but great play design by the Buffalo Bills. And there's a play later in here about the same kind of concept right here. Go in motion to one side, come back the other way in an orbit to lead James Cook as a lead blocker essentially. Good play design by the Bills right there. Quick screen out to Stefon Diggs. And this play right here is just going to be eaten up by the Kansas City Chiefs defense. They've played the screen really well all year long. And we've seen that on film. And I do believe that's Jalen Watson kind of getting away from his blocker. Nick Bolton helping. Oh, no, that's Snead. Which, obviously, Snead, the biggest snub in the Pro Bowl, All-Pro. Anything you think, he's the best cornerback in the league right now, hands down. And a wonderful play right there by L'Jarius Sneed making a big tackle. Right here, this one almost reminds me of, I know it's not necessarily a similar play, but when Gabe Davis got open right over the middle of the field on that 4th and whatever in the divisional game a couple of years ago at Arrowhead, that this one somewhat reminds me of just getting open right over the middle of the field. Chiefs bring pressure off this left side, and just no one in the middle of the field really recognizes James Cook right here. And he's just going to go straight up the middle of the field. Kind of a stutter here in the middle, looking for this flat route possibly, and Josh Allen just goes for it. And that's kind of like the ups and downs you get from a gunslinger like Josh Allen. He's going to turn the ball over a lot, which he does, and but he's going to make these big plays happen like this. That pressure comes from Chamari Connor, a DB, and James Cook. Great play for the Bills right there, and great job for Josh Allen right there. Great play from the quarterback position right here. Just a quick check down to CEH, and this one was really just, I think the Chiefs, we talk about them staying on schedule, and what I've kind of talked about them staying on schedule. I know in the, I think last film review podcast, whatever, but I've talked about this, just getting this team to stay on schedule, because that's kind of been their biggest foe, I think, this year offensively, and the play calling sometimes just, trying to go deep when they don't need to, and that's a little bit of Patrick Mahomes too, where it's a maybe 2nd and long, and you get an incompletion to set yourself up for a 3rd and long. It's in the same offense that it's been in years past, and so I do like this play of just getting what you can out of the play, essentially. Sees Clyde Edwards-Helaire. He's got some space in front of him, and Clyde Edwards-Helaire has really had an amazing season, I think, in the the spot that he's at and being a backup and a role player. He's had his moments. Obviously, he had the fumble at the end of the Dolphins game, but nonetheless, I think he's still a viable option to be a really good role player in this offense. Buffalo Bills now back on offense. It's a play action and almost intercepted right there. Chiefs almost get a big turnover here with the Bills having the ball. Just a quick play action. Everybody does a good job right here. Good recognition by this DB. We'll see here in a second. But that's exactly, it's Justin Reed. Justin Reed who makes this play because he does a great job at coming down initially. And then he makes good recognition here with the tight end coming out and going to end up going deep instead of getting, sucked in to head for the run. Because initially I think that's what Reed thinks is coming is the run. And then he dips back out to stay with the tight end. And then just the motion he makes right here, and this is just everybody on the defense trusting each other because Bolton already sees, okay, he's going to have to go over here with the tight end. You got kind of two guys out here in no man's land. I think Leo Chanel's getting ready to make a run for Josh Allen at this point. He's already about to release the ball. Everybody locked up. Snead has got this route. I think that's Watkins up top, locked up as well. Really, where you probably should have went with this ball is over here to this flat route, this check down. Even then, you've got a guy here waiting, but it's a better matchup in a one-on-one rather than, and Josh Allen doesn't see that Justin Reed's sinking back into this coverage on Watkins to help before he throws the ball. Because at that point that Reed was sinking back down was really, that ball was already coming out. Right there. Right as he starts to throw, Reed just sinks back into coverage for Sammy Watkins. Makes a good play on the ball and almost a big-time turnover for the Chiefs' defense. Pressure-wise, they just bring the 4 up front for the Chiefs, and they don't get a whole lot of pressure on this play, but just great coverage. The Chiefs' secondary has been phenomenal all season long. Now this one, the woes that keep on continuing to happen early in this game, and I mean, you can't do that. MVS just kind of, it's just the mental issues, not focused. And that's exactly what this is right here. He's just not focused, doesn't reset correctly, comes in motion and just heads back out. Just kind of get a little bit of a pre-read. Doesn't quite set up right there, and immediately that's going to get called every time false start on 11. Patrick Mahomes getting flushed out to the right side. And this play right here, this is one of those plays that just look where Mahomes is at when he makes this throw. About 17, 18-yard line-ish. And then you've got Kelsey out here at the 41. And the way he just stopped and threw that, and at that point, it was a high throw. Kelsey has to jump for the ball. Arm strength on full display right here for Patrick Mahomes. Gets flushed out to the right side. Pressure coming from the interior. Stops, plants, and lets one go. And a huge gain and a big first down on a play that looked like it was absolutely broken at that point. Again, pressure from the interior. It's Jawan Taylor that kind of lets that happen. And even with a man right there in your face, is able to get that out for a huge completion. Here's another one that was one of those kind of plays that you see Mahomes and Kelsey kind of hook up on, him going down to the ground. And this ends up being an offensive pass interference call. And I was just going to go to this just to kind of see. There is a bit of a push-off. And this is one where I think it's kind of I feel like it's hard to call this. And I guess I'm not 100% sure at the rule at this point. You can't push off, but at the same time, because we've talked about this year and with the Bengals game and how I brought up with Jamar Chase and what ended up being a hold, which was obviously a hold, but Chase going for the push off. You're within 5 yards, and with the corner jamming Kelsey, he does kind of push him away, but at the same time, it's kind of a product of trying to jam Kelsey at the line, and he just doesn't let him at that point, and he just goes on a quick slant because at this point your ball is right here at the 31. And they're going to make contact at the 34, shrugs them off right at the 35. So, that's 4 yards. So, you're within 4 yards. It almost seems like, that's kind of one of those plays where you let go just because, and it's an incompletion anyways. It was pretty good defense, really. The recovery was well. So, one of those calls that I just thought was an interesting call just for the sake of the argument of OPI, DPI, kind of where do we draw the line? How do we get some consistency is kind of, I feel like, the debate there, just because you're jamming the receiver, which is Kelsey, a tight end at that point, up on the line. You're within your 5 yards, but Kelsey kind of gives a little bit back wall, to get off of the jam to go into his route. And I think it just happened to be that it was, a quick kind of slant route that was thrown to immediately kind of off of that push where the flag gets drawn, and it makes sense. Chiefs getting pressure right here and a big throw. Didn't even see him. Didn't even see Chamari Connor right there. Big interception for Chamari Connor. Makes a big-time play for the Kansas City Chiefs in the first half. But you got Watkins coming back from this side of the field, and that's where, no, wrong route. This man coming from the right side of the field is what we're looking at. Turns out for a minute, and looks like probably they're just going to sit down on this route or kind of go on an out route. You kind of have this route sneaking up the field as well for Buffalo. But then just kind of makes that recognition, turns around, tries to get back to the middle of the field, which is a great move when you see your quarterback moving around. You want to be able to get to a spot where he can throw you the football. He does, but Chamari Connor right here in the middle of the field is who's going to come across and just make a terrific play right here. Like he was running the route and it was intended for him, really, is what that looked like. It was easy money right there. This right here is going to give us a good, clear view of it, too. And this is where Chamari Connor's starting at right here. He comes down from his safety position, works his way back across the field, and just great recognition and just easy. Easy money right there for Chamari Connor. First NFL pick right there. This one right here, this will be a better view to show this formation, as I kind of missed it on that other angle. Or I guess I've just got my... Who has got the film mixed up? I guess I do. Oh, yeah, we've already got the pass off here. All right. Obviously, I messed up editing that play. So we're going to move to the next one. Just a quick pass to Kelsey, though, over the middle of the field right there. So this one right here, I was at this game, and even in the stadium, I pulled it up on NFL, on the app, on the NFL app, just to essentially rewatch this play. It worked out perfectly when I finally got enough signal to get to it to be able to watch this. But this play I saw pointed out something else I was watching, and talking about how upset Mahomes was, and this is like almost peak of the frustration of the offense, right? Of Mahomes pointing, these guys don't know what they're doing necessarily. They're all in the wrong spot, all out of whack. Rashee Rice throwing his hands up. Rice is supposed to be on the line, and Tony is supposed to be the one coming down a little bit off the line, motioned by Kelsey. And right here, it's just a miscue. This should be a touchdown. But really, the confusion from the beginning, I think, is what kills this, because from the very get, you've got so much going on, and you see Mahomes animated right there, telling him, get in your position, essentially. So it's been a tough year, and this is week 14 at this point. So looking at this, the Chiefs have played quite a bit of football since then to get to this point in the divisional round. Really, the best offense has looked all year in the wild card round. So it is a good sign that hopefully some of these things are going to be cleared up. We looked at the MVS false start earlier in this film review. Then that play right there where Tony and Rice are all out of whack. And really, I think that's what disrupted everything. You've got Rice probably thinking about what he should have been doing in the first place and in his head about that play, not running the route quite as efficiently as he could have, as we'll look at it one more time. Just because at the top of his route, he should be moving more so towards the area kind of Mahomes is trying to get him to, rather than stretching it out towards the back of the end zone on that route. We get back to the defense right here. So this is going back to that Buffalo sequence like I talked about that we were going to get to. This is the first play of the second half. And I really love the way that the Bills set all of this up with this motion. He's just going to orbit right here back behind Allen like he did earlier and set up what looks like some type of screen on the earlier play. And this time they add a little fake to a toss right there. This is going to get the Chiefs defense all out of whack. Everybody's kind of biting down on this right side. And that's just going to open up the middle of the field super easy for your tight end. And the same kind of play develops in the exact same completion, same concept. You kind of get the defense moving one way, and get the tight end in the middle, kind of sneak her out around into the middle of the field, right past the linebackers. And it's exactly what happens. I mean, Willie and Nick Bolton both just bite down on what looks like it's going to be a toss play. On the previous one, looked more like it could have been a screen. There wasn't the, motion that Allen made towards the toss. And that's just going to allow, I think it's Dawson Knox right there over the middle of the field, to easily just grab that and take for an easy first down. Here's a big third. I can't remember if it was third or fourth and short. But huge play right here, and the Chiefs, they love kind of biting off this play. It's a fullback dive, essentially, Tony in the backfield. And the very next play we're going to see here in a minute, Kelsey comes in motion, just split back. And Tony goes in motion too, and we've seen where they've pitched it to Tony on that play as well. And here on this play, Tony's just going to motion in as a fullback. They're going to go right off of that and get a big completion to Travis Kelsey. And Kelsey does his thing, gets some extra yardage. But I love the play design and the play calling right here in this situation, because you're trying to work the ball down the field and just playing off of something that, the Chiefs play off of all the time, it seems like. And what has started to kind of work for these short yardage situations, they just give the inside fake to Tony. Defense, all the linebackers kind of staying up on the line, thinking something short that they're going to try to get to Tony. Or now you've got, I think this is McKinnon leaking out on the other side. And deep, you've just got Kelsey and your lone receiver up top. Kelsey makes and that's MVS taking the defense deep. Kelsey makes a great move to the outside, and at this point, Mahomes is already throwing the football. Easy money. Now you're in the red zone, down almost to the 10-yard line. Looks like the 11-yard line from there. Again, Tony just motions into the backfield. They give that fake to him. McKinnon kind of stays in to help to block. Easy money. Wide open over there on the left side of the field is Travis Kelsey. This a few plays later on the same drive, and this one is going to finally be that touchdown to Rashee Rice. Rashee Rice really had an up-and-down game. A big-time up-and-down game, and it got better throughout, but he had his moments. You saw the play where he kind of missed on his route, and the confusion between him and Tony on the play, and then to come back the next drive and kind of shape up with a big play right here, getting this caught in the back of the end zone. Big-time touchdown. Just a crosser that goes across the back of the end zone. Kelsey, the man next to him. McKinnon out wide. Just get a quick little flat route. I think that's Noah Gray. You got Kelsey moving to the inside. Got a slant over here. And Rashee Rice is just going to take this deep crossing route. And McKinnon just kind of over here trying to move. You see McKinnon make a break for the edge of the end zone. But great route running on that play. Shaped it up for Rashee Rice. Gets the big touchdown for the Chiefs. And they really needed it at this point in the game. And I'm trying to think exactly what the score was at this point. It might have been, I think 17-17 is what that made it, or 17-14 possibly. Here's a screenplay a little bit later to Rashee Rice now. And this play I wanted to point out exactly for this. Just a quick play. Get the ball to your playmakers. We talked about that in the Packers game. They really had started adapting, just trying to get the playmakers in space and, trying to make the offense a little bit easier. And this is just great vision. Great blocking, great vision. Sky Moore gets a great block. Justin Watson doing his job. How about Wanya Morris getting out here in space to help? But great block and great vision, because right here, Justin Watson kind of has leverage to the inside to get the DB outside. And Rashee Rice makes a great read to just cut back inside and is going to allow for him to get a first down off of the screenplay. So Rashee Rice really shaped up his game towards the end of this Buffalo game and looked amazing, because here's the best play of the game from Rashee Rice. Just beats the guy. And, I mean, that's big time. This is the last drive, down 20-17, trying to make a comeback, and that's exactly what the Chiefs needed. Perfect pass and an even better catch. And especially from what we've seen from the Chiefs receivers this year, and hurrying up to get back to the line as time, was a factor at this point in the game, down 3. But this angle right here just shows you tight coverage, and Rashee Rice comes down with the football. And it's exciting to see, again, with the way the Chiefs receivers have played this year. And here we go. We get to, I titled it the file That Play. So immediately, if you know what you're looking at, you know what you're looking at right now. Kadarius Toney is offsides. It is pretty clear he is offsides. The ball, let's go back just a little bit further to see exactly where we have the ball spotted at. Creed Humphrey has the ball at about the 49.5-yard line right here, right? Kadarius Toney is clearly up to the 49-yard line, and that toe is past the 49-yard line. Very obviously offsides. And one thing that I, watching the film, realized, you're going to see very quickly, a yellow flag flying up in the air. So before anything has happened, that call was made. This right here, a great job to get Kelsey open over the middle of the field, and just an insane moment right here. And watching this live, I said, I literally said this may be the greatest play I've ever seen live at Arrowhead Stadium. And I've seen some great plays in these last few years, being in attendance. But this play right here was just insane. Kelsey throws the ball the other side of the field. Toney catches it and just takes it all the way for 6. The biggest play of the game, the biggest play from the Chiefs offense all season, really, is right here. Deep pass to Kelsey over the middle, stops, and I mean, I don't know if he was thinking this the whole way or if he, it kind of came out of nowhere and he just went for it for Kelsey. Because even how it's set up and where everybody's at on the field, Toney gets to the outside on the left side, right about the 30-yard line. This is when Kelsey catches the football. And now Toney's kind of just hanging out down here. And I don't know if he ever really expected anything like this to happen, because, I mean, he doesn't at any time too much. Even at this point, looks like he's ready for something like that. Great job by Tony to even catch it. And at least still paying attention to the play, because I don't think really at any time it looked like Tony was expecting anything like that to happen or come his way. Of course, all of this was negated by the offsides. So much debate. Mahomes was heated after the game, and I think, a few weeks removed, heading into this divisional matchup and kind of getting back to this game and rewatching it is, the fact of the matter, Tony was offsides. And whether you want to blame anybody for it, because at the end of the day, it goes back to the same thing I've been really just pounding the table all season: inconsistency. Because part of Tony, part of the Chiefs in general, their viewpoint was, well, Tony checked with the official. And, there's been debate of, well, if he was so far off sides that, there's no helping that out, or, yada, yada, yada. Either way, I think at the end of the day, you have to keep the consistency. If, one player is going to check and you're going to tell him move back, I think any player that looks over, no matter how, obviously you're 5 yards off sides. It's not like Tony was insanely far off sides. I think a lot of people made a big deal about, how far off sides he was. And at the end of the day, we just looked at the ball, it's on the 49.5-yard line, and Tony's foot is kind of over the 49-yard line. So half a yard offsides-ish. Again, it's not like he was in the secondary or anything like that. It was fun with the memes and all that and putting him so far ahead. It's all fun. It's all fun and games. It's good. It's, what we do, and have fun with this league. And but at the same time, I think if you look over and check and you're going to give a response to somebody, you got to give a response to everybody every time. It has to be that consistent. It's got to be the consistency. At the end of the day, I feel like wherever you go with the way you call the game, officiating, I don't think it matters too much. What matters is the consistency across the board, and that all of these groups of officials need to call the game the same way and do the same things. It needs to be uniform, just like every NFL player goes out there on a uniform, and the NFL will fine them if they're, out of compliance in their uniform and whatever, their cleats or their, what they're wearing, their gloves, anything. I think the calls need to be the same way around. So that being said, if you stuck around for this whole video, I really appreciate it. Smash that like button, subscribe here on YouTube. Check out the Papa Shronos podcast over on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, also on Substack, papashronos.substack.com, or right here on YouTube as well. We will see you next time, and let me know in the comments below, can the Bills finally pass the divisional round? I guess they did the 1 year where they lost to the Chiefs in the AFC Championship game, but it's been a few years. They've lost in the divisional round 2 years in a row. The Chiefs have not lost to the Bills in the postseason. So who gets it done on Sunday night? Is it the Chiefs? Is it the Bills? They are in Buffalo. Does that play a factor? And how big of a factor that does play? Let me know in the comments below. And I appreciate the support. We will see you next time.